Hi, it's Sandy from Balloon Utopia, Market with Balloons. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with helium. I know everybody's asking, what's up with helium? Why are balloons so expensive? Why can't I get helium? Why isn't Party City selling balloons right now? So I want to tell you a little bit about it. Now, you see these balloons in the background? All of the balloons that are floating, those require helium. Balloons don't float unless they have helium. However, there are a ton of things that you or your balloon artist can do without helium. So basically, anything that's framed and air-filled doesn't require helium. So for instance, these columns. Well, I'll put the picture in later of the columns. These columns, or here's some other pictures of decor that doesn't require helium at all. These are various things that are air-filled. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with helium, right? I know a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, there's a helium shortage, and that means that there's no balloons. We already talked about that. That's simply not true. And then people are saying, oh, those balloon people, they're using up all the helium and now they don't have it to run the MRIs. Well, that's also not true. The fact of the matter is that, yes, MRIs do use helium, but they use a much higher grade than what we put in our balloons. And balloons only account for 3 to 11% of all total floating use, of all use of helium floating, including giant weather balloons and the, whatever they put up into space and all of that, is only 3 to 11%. So what uses all the helium if it's not balloons? Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about why we're having this helium shortage, because it's kind of like a perfect storm right now. So what's happened is you have refineries in Europe and in the Middle East that had to go down for maintenance, and they were closed for an extended amount of time. Now, helium is a natural gas. It's the first gas that comes off of the oil well, and so it has to be captured and stored. So the United States was actually had the largest helium reserve in the world. Huge helium reserve. And in 1996, Congress said, hey, you know what? We're operating this thing at like $1 billion a year deficit. This isn't working for us. We need to get rid of this helium reserve. So Congress passed an act in 1996 called the Helium Privatization Act that says that they needed to sell off all the helium by 2015. So they'd been selling it at below market prices. So they've got this fire sale of helium going on. At the same time, you've got a shortage in the amount of helium coming from Europe and the Middle East and things like that. And then you've got the medical uses, cooling down the MRI machine, for instance. You've got the industrial uses, welding, for instance. And now there's a new user of helium that's come up on the scene, and that is China making flat screen TVs. It's part of the process that makes, I can't remember if it's the plasma TVs or the LCD. I have to admit I'm not up on my TV terminology so much. But this is what's caused the shortage. So here's the thing. In some markets, they can't get helium at all. Yes, that's true. But that doesn't mean no balloons, because the balloon artists in those areas have spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of thought to come up with amazing designs that don't require helium. We can hang things, we can frame it, we can put it on base plates and poles. There's so much that we can do. So that's one thing. The other thing is that in the markets that can get helium, the price of helium has skyrocketed. For me personally, my helium cost, that is my wholesale cost in the helium, has increased more than 475% in less than 2 years. And so that's why the balloons that used to be a cheap budget option are now, I don't want to say that they're expensive, but they're more expensive than they once were. Still, when you look at the coverage that they give you for a total room effect compared to other types of decor, they're still pretty cost effective, but you shouldn't expect them to be cheap. So anyways, that's what's going on with helium. But like I said, it doesn't mean no balloons. Talk to your balloon artist and say, hey, what can you do that's air-filled? What can you do that's a great option that doesn't use helium? And I bet you they will have some ideas that will blow your mind. And not only that, but the air-filled stuff, there's so much more that we can do creativity-wise with air than with helium because we have a framework. So don't give up on balloons. Like I said, here's a few more pictures of some decor that doesn't have any helium, that's all air-filled, unlike the balloons in the background here, which are helium. Well, thank you so much. I hope that answered your question about what's going on with helium these days.